How's it going, guys? Today I have the brand new Sony a6700. Been loving this camera so far, and it's super sweet that you can film an S-Log3 on it. So today I'm going to show you how to properly expose your S-Log3 footage to get the best possible image out of this camera with the best possible dynamic range. I'm going to put on the screen right now some examples of a shoot from 2 days ago that I filmed with this camera in S-Log3 so that you can see the dynamic range. It is absolutely gorgeous. I'm super stoked with the image from this camera. All the clips that you see on the screen are graded with the August LUTs Collection 1. I've developed a LUT pack that takes your S-Log3 image, your flat S-Log3 image, and converts it to a beautiful graded image with pretty much just one click. Of course, you can do additional grading on top, but I include these for free in the pack alongside with the Creative LUTs. Make sure that you check those out. I'll leave a link in the description of this video. All right, so there's a couple things I want to go over that you need to set up before I get into how I expose S-Log3. First of all, you want to make sure that you're filming at your base ISO. So the base ISO on the Sony a6700 is ISO 800. So make sure that you're set at this. Reason you want to be set at your base ISO so that you have the cleanest possible image. So that first step is going to set you up for success. Now the next thing I want to show you, go into your menu and scroll down to exposure and color and go over to number 3 here, which is metering, and turn multi-metering on. This is going to make sure that your camera is metering for the entire image. All right, now that that is set up, I'm going to show you how to expose for S-Log3. Now this first way that I'm going to show you is without using the display LUT. So as you see here, the display LUT is toggled off. So what you're seeing is the flat log image. Now my goal generally is to expose for skin tones. If there's no human subject in the image, sometimes I'll go against my exposure rule, but for the most part, I'm always exposing for skin. So I'll show you what I do next. If you toggle your menu, you go down to exposure and color, and scroll down to zebra display. Toggle your zebra display on, go to zebra level, and choose 70. Now you'll see as I brighten the image, you'll see zebra lines appear. And my goal is to not have these lines appear on my subject's skin. So if this is my subject here, you can see that right here, it's properly exposed. It's not clipping on the skin at all. But if I brighten the image a little bit, you'll see that lines appear. And this is when I know that I'm overexposing for the skin. Now I know I'm toggling the shutter speed, but this is just for demonstration. I never actually do this when shooting unless I'm going for some sort of creative effect. Now if you take a look at the multimeter that's just at the bottom here, you'll see that it changes as I adjust the exposure. Now some people would say expose anywhere between 1.7 to 2 stops over. I generally like to be anywhere between 1.3 and 2 stops. If anything, 1.3 and 1.7 is the sweet spot for me. Now, when you're overexposing your footage with these camera sensors, you're going to preserve all the detail in the shadows. That's the whole point with overexposing, and the highlights are quite easy to recover. My goal is to always expose for skin. So let's just say I'm filming the subject. Right now, I see that the image is quite dark. Looking at the multimeter, it's only plus 0.7. So I'm gonna slowly expose it higher. It's getting more to that sweet spot. It's about 1.3 right now. I don't see any clipping whatsoever. Once I go to 1.7, I start to see a bit of clipping on the skin. So that's when I'm gonna dial it back. Right there, that's perfect. That's perfectly exposed. On my Sony a6700 here, I would use a variable ND filter so that I don't have to faff around with the shutter speed or the ISO. Mainly for adjustments, I will use my variable ND filter, or I'll change the aperture depending on the image that I'm filming. All right, next, I want to show you how to expose if I was using the display LUT. For example here, I'm gonna overexpose the image on the skin tones here. This is in the flat S-Log3 profile with no display LUT. But if I would turn that display LUT on, you're gonna see that you see way more zebras right away, and this is with the zebra set to 70. So what I'm gonna do if I'm using the display LUT, I'm gonna go to my menu here and go back down to exposure and color. Back down to number 6, zebra display, it's set to on. I'm gonna go zebra level, but I'm gonna toggle down to C2 here. lower limit, and I'm gonna set my lower limit to 94 plus. Now when you use this method, it's gonna look a bit different. You're not gonna see the zebras display as quickly. What you need to know is that when you do see zebras with these settings, that means that that part of the image is totally overexposed. You probably won't even be able to recover those highlights. So as you can see the multimeter here, you don't see zebras yet, but you can see that it's already plus 2 stops and it's blinking. So it's like, this is the danger area. And as I expose it a little bit more, and you see those zebras appear, like this is unrecoverable. You're not gonna get that back. So what you can do when you expose this way, just bring it down, rely on the multimeter as well, but you'll know that as long as you're in that safe, 1.7 range, you can even go up to the 2 range, that your image is gonna still be recoverable in the highlights. Your shadows are gonna be nice and clean, and your image is just gonna look great. Now my preferred method is to do the first way that I showed you. The zebra is set to 70, and with the display LUT turned off. I usually use a camera monitor, so I have my zebra set on there. Because I'm exposing for the skin tones, I find that this way is the most effective. I'm always relying on the zebras not showing up on the skin. It's really easy, it's worked well. I do this for all the weddings I shoot. It works perfectly. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope that helps you with exposing S-Log3 on your Sony a6700. This method also applies to any Sony cameras that film in S-Log3. Let me know what other types of videos you want to see in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
One more kiss before I fly, and I'm gonna go where you go. Gonna stay up all night, leave the world outside. So when you open your eyes,
halfway up the mountain, I was falling asleep. Not that I was counting. Standing on the corner, head down to your hips. Baby, I was born before you, but I'm too young for this. Shaking like a leaf on a tree, that's me. Shaking like a leaf on a tree, that's me.